So I've made a bit more progress on the pool. The inside is ready for the basecrete, but I need to wait probably until February, March, until we get 3 consecutive nights of more than 10 degrees in order to apply that. So I've been focusing on the outside of the pool. I've finished off some pipe work, done some insulating of the pipe work. I have done some backfilling, built some walls and built some steps. All contributes to finishing this thing off. Hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching. Right, now I'm going to fit the pipework for the light, and it's basically just a 90-degree on there with a pipe at the top, which goes to something called the deck box, which is where I'll connect my low voltage 12-volt cables to more low voltage 12-volt cables, but it provides a nice short cable from the light up to that deck box. I'm going to glue it in place. I'm just going to clean the 90-degree piece and the pipe. And I'm going to glue the pipe into the 90-degree fitting first, and then I'm going to glue the whole thing onto the wall. This is expensive cleaner, and I just knocked the whole tub over for £15, which is a bit annoying. Always remember to have a Christmas-themed teacup handy when doing this. This is a degreaser / primer. I think cleaner and a primer. They say it's a primer and a cleaner, so both sides of that are nice and clean. I've already cleaned that. I'm just going to clean the beveled edge of this pipe as well. Now that it's all clean, I'm going to glue it with the Tangit all pressure glue, which is this. I could have done this indoors, this little part, but why be in the nice warm house where you could be outside in freezing cold temperatures, and just push them together. So I've just given that a little bit of a clean inside there and given that a clean as well. So now we're going to apply a nice generous amount of this glue to the socket. So I can't leave this like this. When I backfill, I need to beef it up a little bit. So I've just got this PVC plate, and I'm going to screw that. I've pre-drilled it where we've got the fixing points in the ICF, which is every 205 mil. So I'm just going to fit this behind there so that I've got a nice secure area to fix my stainless steel clamps. And there you have it. That's the light fitted, or the light pipe fitted, because the pool of water is going to go inside there and fill up to about here. I'll probably have to cut it off and put a deck box on top, but I think that'll do for now. It's pretty solid. Probably a bit unconventional. Obviously you don't have nice fixing points here to fix things to that easily, so you've got to use the strips. And they didn't line up with where this pipe was. So yeah, here we go.
So next up, I need to pressure test the pipework before I'm going to backfill over the top of it. So I made it this manifold to do exactly that.
So here's the pressure test manifold connected to the hose. It's currently off, and there'll be a load of water coming out of there when I turn this tap on, like so. So we just need to thread this into the 50mm pipe and do it up. It feels like it's gonna pop out, but so that's plugged in down there. I'm just gonna turn up the pressure until it reads 1 bar. There's 1 bar of pressure in there. And I can't see any leaks. That's plugged the other end. We're just gonna leave it for 1 minute.
So I did manage to get the pressure testing done eventually, using some metal bungs instead of those plastic bungs that I was using there, the white ones. Moving swiftly on, next up I needed to insulate the pipes, the high level return pipes. So I'm insulating the furthest away line there from the heat pad, where the heater is, and then insulating the skimmer line as well, down the length of the pool, and also then insulating those pipes as they go around the corner to the end of the pool, near where they connect to the heater. This will will keep the heat in when the water's traveling through those lines, but also protect the pipes as well as the backfilling starts. But next up, I've got to do some drainage and some retaining walls. So I just poured a small foot in to build the wall, which you can see there, and then just used a 4-inch block on edge to build a wall to initially retain that backfill. Obviously, normally you'd go with block on flat for a retaining wall, but in this case, because it's going to be steps the other side of it in the foreground, it doesn't necessarily need to be a super strong wall because it will be reinforced the other side. And then I started building another retaining wall the other end using block on flat because there won't be anything this side of that wall in the foreground. And then this is to retain just all of that backfill, all the chip-ins that will be used to get that ground up to its level that it needs to be so that it's in line with the pool height. And then I just dug a little trench underneath that for an armoured cable that will be connected up at a later date.
If you are enjoying these videos, please could you just hit that big thumbs up button. Back to the video.
Next up is, in order to complete the backfill this side here, I need to get my drain, which is going to be run from here across the back of the patio, down here, and then where the backfill will go, and then down there into a soakaway. That's for the surface water that's going to be rainwater that's going to be collecting from the eco channels. So I'm going to install that drainage next to enable the backfilling to finish off. That has been hard work, just digging that little tiny trench for the pipe that's going to go in the hole running down to the soakaway, which is going to be about there.
So now that most of the groundworks are done, I can start filling up the end of the pool with just the hardcore and rejects from the building that I knocked down in order to build this. So I started backfilling. Storm Dara was approaching and we got pretty wet whilst doing this.
So I'll just do a little bit of a tour of where we are at. So we've got a small wall here, which is not block on flat, and it is retaining. And the reason it isn't block on flat is because there's going to be steps that are going to be coming up most of the way there, and all this will be filled in here anyway, so it'll have plenty of strength. And then if we jump inside, started using up some of these old chunks of the old bit of the house that was knocked down, and we got plenty of 20mm stone in there as well. It's pretty high, it's almost up to the grade level, or the level that we need. And then this has also been filled as well, and that pile at the end is getting quite a bit smaller. And if I turn around and get a different view, you can see it's starting to take shape in terms of the levels. So next up is just to spend even more time filling all this in. I'll just go with some 20mm clean stone to top all of that off and fill the gaps and work out where the drainage is going to be next. I've had to kind of prepare all this for the storm that's coming up. Storm Dara, whatever it's called, is going to come. So yeah, that makes us not going to blow over. And there we go. That's how we are looking at the moment.
So we just continued to backfill down between the pool and the patio. And the storm then came, and we thought we would make the most of it by not pumping the water out of the pool initially, just to have a little bit of fun with the boat, which was great. But then needed to move on by making the garden a bit safer. It's a bit lethal where those steps used to be, so I formed a first step out of some block on flat, and then filled it in with some rejects and built some steps.
That's suitably full of the reject and hardcore. So next up, we'll put in some concrete.
So each side of the steps, I thought I'd put two small planters that I might put some like ferns or you know, some plants in to frame the steps up, just to make them look a bit nicer. Be nice to have a bit of greenery around the pool as well. So here you can see I'm just building that first planter and then moving on. Had a bit of help with this one. Moving on to the second planter on the left hand side, and once that was done, I formed the second step.
So I've just concreted, made a bit of formwork, which I didn't video, and I propped it up with some blocks and concreted that last step. So next step will be just to remove the formwork, and hopefully those levels will be a bit nicer. And then all I've got to do is this ramp and a bit of finishing up there to get the structure in place.
So I'm going to leave it there for this video. Next up, I think I'm going to start building the kind of pool house building that's going to house the sand filter, the pump, and also going to dig some channels to route the pipes from the pool to the equipment pad, so that can all be ready to connect up once the pool is rendered. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.